So how can we begin to understand competitive positioning and begin to get our hands around how different firms are positioning themselves within the market? So let me introduce a tool here from our toolkit called Strategic Maps. Strategic Maps are a very generic tool. You see widespread use of these in consulting and other practices, and they can take many different forms. Basically, you're taking a couple factors, 2 or 3 factors, and you're mapping the various players within the industry on those factors. Here you see illustrated a way of doing a 3-factor map. You have an x-axis for factor 1, a y-axis for factor 2, and then the size of the circle reflects a 3rd factor. So let me give you an example here. Here we have autos in 2002. On one axis, we're looking at average vehicle costs. On another axis, we're looking at somewhat subjective measure, but sportiness of the vehicles. And then finally, we use the size of the circle to determine the number of models available by that company. So what do we see? We see someone like Porsche, once again, way up in the upper right corner. High average vehicle cost, high on sportiness here. Clearly appears to be a niche player within the industry here, trying to position themselves as a high-end luxury automobile manufacturer. On the opposite extreme, we have Kia. Lower average vehicle cost, perhaps lower on sportiness, but appealing to a more low-cost focused strategy here. We have Mercedes. Mercedes, higher on sportiness, maybe higher on average vehicle cost, a broader array of vehicles that they offer. This would be perhaps a differentiation strategy. We look at Ford, similar number of models, lower average vehicle costs, and perhaps a little bit lower in terms of sportiness. This would maybe be a cost leadership strategy. And then Toyota, as we talked about, as an integrative strategy, trying to be both differentiated and low cost simultaneously.